it's Debra Anastasia, and I'm recording this for Chapter 1 live, and it's an exclusive reading. Trying to keep the 3 dogs quiet, the children happy, and anything from exploding. Chapter 1, Green Eyes. The chapter starts with Lydia McHugh arriving at the train station. She smiles at everyone there, including the homeless man that spends his time in the shade. Crazy. The nickname the waiting passengers had given him was grating and harsh to her ears. Granted, the man did spend a good amount of time running his fingers over a flat piece of cardboard, as if he was typing or playing the piano. But calling him crazy seemed to dehumanize the man in the onlooker's eyes. Livia's nickname for him was Green Eyes, as his were spectacular, the clearest jade and almost glowing. Livia put her earbuds in and plugged the cord into her iPhone. Wrong song. She stabbed quickly at the buttons, and in the unintentional silence that ensued, she heard the conversation of a group of teens next to her. How about we give that homeless ass a wedgie he won't forget? Sneaking a peek out of the corner of her eye, she noticed there were 3 burly boys. She curled her lip up in disdain at their snickering. Better yet, let's strip him naked and throw him on the train. Enthusiastic backslapping rewarded this novel idea. The boys seemed quite proud of themselves. What the hell are they even doing up this early? The group headed in Green Eye's direction. Livia slid the earbuds in her pocket and looked around. The other people waiting for the train seemed oblivious, their backs turned to the teens. Didn't they just hear what I heard? In the next beat, she got it. They don't care if Crazy gets a thrashing. The teens now stood in front of Green Eyes, taunting him. Hey, stinky bastard! The tallest teen kicked Green Eyes' shoe lightly, then harder. You're making our wait unsanitary. You're going to pay for that. The smallest teen grabbed Green Eyes' ever-present cardboard and began flinging it back and forth with the middle-sized idiot like a frisbee. Livia looked desperately at the men in suits scattered along the platform. They're dressed the part, but not one of them is a gentleman. Decision made, Livia strode over to the jerk holding the cardboard above his head and jabbed him in the armpit, stealing it back when he flinched. She put her high heels right in front of Green Eyes' legs and faced his attackers. You'll leave now. She tried to infuse as much venom as she could into the words. Lady, we're just trying to have some fun with our friend here. Standing close to the tallest one, she could see that he would make a handsome man someday, with a heart as black as hell. Livia could feel Green Eyes standing up behind her. Then she caught his reflection in the shortest attacker's sunglasses. He was easily 6 feet tall. The teens' faces registered shock as he unfurled himself. But instead of trying to put the fear of God in the bullies, he whispered in her ear, You're going to miss your train. Livia turned her face slightly, but kept her eyes on the tall teen. I'm good right here, thanks, though. She put the cardboard behind her back to keep it safe. Oh, I didn't realize this fart was your boyfriend, the tallest teen taunted. You should tell his lazy ass to get a job and stop living off the taxpayers' money. Livia snorted. Do you even have a job? You're like 12. She didn't get to hear his retort because Green Eyes murmured in her ear again. Please, miss, don't get hurt on my account. I wasn't planning on it. As she spoke, Livia pulled out her pepper spray. The teens took a step back. Just as the train pulled up with a huge clatter, get on the train and I'll forget this ever happened. She licked her lips and wiggled her trigger finger. The authority she pretended to have seemed to finally reach him. They backed away to join the crowd boarding the train. Now that Livia was alone with Green Eyes, uneasiness pooled in her stomach. Nothing was as desolate as a train platform just after the train had left. She heard him in her ear again. You didn't have to do that. When Livia turned, she had to tip her head back to see his face as she handed him his cardboard. He's beautiful. The training she'd received from her father about being alone with a strange man tickled at the edges of her brain, but she refused to acknowledge it. If they caused you pain, I'd never been able to live with myself, he said as he backed up a step. Watching you get attacked would have been more painful than taking a slug to the face, Livia said. You might want to find another place to sit. These idiots could come up with a plan for revenge. Instead of being the friendly advice Livia intended, her words seemed to slice into him. Why is he in such pain? I can't leave. Green Eyes took a huge breath. This is the only place where I get to see you. He looked like a man who had bet his entire fortune and laid his cards on the table. Livia considered him again. Should be thinking, stalker, or freak, or run, but he looked so hopeful. Livia took a deep breath and held out her hand. I'm Livia McHugh. It's nice to meet you. His green eyes sparkled. Blake Hart, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Thank you so much for listening to Chapter 1 of Poughkeepsie. Book 2 is Return to Poughkeepsie. It already exists in the world. And then Saving Poughkeepsie will be out 11/22/14. So all 3 books will be out and the series will be complete. There's also an interactive app for iPad for Poughkeepsie that you can watch videos, listen to music, play games, watch actors act out scenes like I've read to you right here. It took about 1.5 years to develop it, and it's really, really neat. So make sure to check for that. And there's also an audiobook if you enjoyed listening to the story. So click below for the 1 click to Amazon to read the rest of Poughkeepsie by Debra Anastasia.